Hello, everyone. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. We have a great show today. I've been able to invite a very fascinating and interesting entrepreneur on the show. He's been able to build a very interesting business using all of his entrepreneurial experience throughout the years. His name is Mr. Rivers Corbett. And when I tell you about his business, you're really going to be interested. Stay tuned for the whole show because we're going to get into it, how he built the business, what his vision for the business has been, and why it's taken off so well throughout the world. And what Rivers has is a company called ChefTorial. And it's such an amazing business. We're going to let him tell us about it a little bit, but the business model, what he's put together with his team is absolutely fascinating. He's on the cutting edge of entrepreneurship. Rivers, welcome to the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Andy, my honor to be here, my man. You're just doing magic, and I'm just honored to be here to be part of DotCom Magazine. Thank you, sir.
I love it, Rivers. Everybody's talking about ChefTorial right now. I mean, you go on the website, you go on social, you go on Facebook, you see all these chefs that are so energetic. They have such a great panache about them. They're so likable. They've got these big smiles. It's so much fun. What you've created over there is just remarkable. Let's pull the lens back to 30,000 feet before we get into it a little deeper and tell us about ChefTorial.
Yeah, so ChefTorial, Andy, is really a journey. First of all, I'm not a chef at all. I'm the furthest thing from it. And so when you talk about my entrepreneurial background, it really is, ChefTorial is based on me identifying a brand opportunity that zags when everybody else zigs, and a brand that really kind of brings the Disney world for chefs together to really bring what they're creative about, what they're interested in, to audience around the world right now, all done virtually. COVID stopped everything when we were doing it face-to-face. We pivoted, went online, and now deliver these interactive, engaging, live culinary experiences, connecting communities together, all centered around food, which when you think about it, that's what makes the world go around. You want to connect with people, you do it with food, add a little beverage on top, that's okay, but food kind of starts it off, and we do it with amazing chefs from around the world.
I love it. You have so much energy. When I went on the website and I started watching the chefs that you bring on for this, virtual interactive and live events that you have on ChefTorial, I couldn't keep my eyes off it. I mean, the chefs are absolutely remarkable. They make it so fun. The dishes they prepare are so interesting. So let's talk about it. Who comes to ChefTorial? Who wants to watch these fascinating and remarkable and very energetic chefs doing their thing?
Yeah, so it's really two communities that really come to ChefTorial, Andy. The first one are our guests. And our guests, what they're trying to do, they're mainly businesses. And what these businesses are trying to do is bring their teammates together, their staff together, their clients together. They're obviously, sometimes their families together in a way that allows them to engage in a way that we've been so suffering these days because of the COVID situation. And so we just take them through a make bread and break bread scenario. It takes about 90 minutes. There's a lot of entertainment that comes into it, a lot of emotions. I always say couch cooks. We are not. You're rolling up your sleeves, you're putting on your apron, you're grabbing your favorite beverage, and you're experiencing something so cool. So that's the one side, who are our guests. The other community, my friend, who we are connecting with are those amazing chefs. Now, these chefs are looking for a new and unique lifestyle. They're tired, they're exhausted, they're working insane hours, their creativity is being stifled. And what we do is we open up their box of opportunity for them that allows them to build a lifestyle, build a business, start working hours that really make sense to them, and by the way, make some cool money along the way. So we've got a business formula for success for them, which includes connecting them with our guests, which ultimately drives their business too. So business skills, presentation skills, we bring in lead skills, all those things for our chefs. And of course, for our guests, we bring these amazing chefs from, I was talking to one from New York City the other day who's an amazing chocolatier, just starting a business because he's tired of doing what he's doing. So those are the type of communities we're now serving in the ChefTorial journey.
I love it. I want to get in a little bit deeper with what you do with the chefs and why this is sort of a great additional gig for them besides doing their creative culinary art at their restaurant or wherever they may be. But, to come on the platform at ChefTorial is really remarkable. It's an opportunity to get their name out in front of so many people, sharing some revenue. It's sort of like a side gig, but ultimately it's going to become probably their main gig because ChefTorial is taking off so big. But let's talk about this because it's super interesting, Rivers. So here I am. Let's just say I have a startup, or let's say I have a small to medium-sized business, and I want to do something super interesting and super fun for my corporate culture with my team. Let's say I want to bring some people on, whether it's a C-suite, whether it's my sales team or my accounting team, or all of them together. And I say to myself, this is going to be super cool. Let's get them all together. Let's do some interactive live experience, make it an interactive live event with ChefTorial. Rivers is going to put this whole thing together in his team. And they all come online, and there they are. They're making bread, which you said, and then they're breaking bread. I mean, it sounds like it's such a great way to build corporate culture. Isn't that the idea?
It is. One thing I've loved about this journey in the last few years is the people that I have met and connected with. And I met with this woman who's from St. Petersburg, Russia, not Florida, Russia. And she was saying, what you're doing, Rivers, so well. And I always say it ain't bragging if it's true. We really are doing this well, is we're doing something called Phygital. Now, Phygital is bridging that physical world with the digital world. And that's bringing in emotions. We talk about taste. It's not just about sitting back. You are engaged. This is artificial intelligence at its live basis. It's so cool. So we're able to do it in that basis. So we bring this artificial, kind of this digital world together to really bring all those elements that tie in taste, touch, and so on, and emotions. So that's the first thing. The second thing, how we do it, is that we bring these communities together just like you're hosting your own event. We customize programs, or we can have standard ones. Everybody gets a pre-experience guide, if you want to call it, because ChefTorials are new, and we want people to come to them in a comfortable way. So we can either send the meals ahead of time, the food, or we can have them as part of the experience, go to the local grocery store. They arrive 10 minutes before their ChefTorial. They're in their kitchens around the world, or just maybe in their own neighborhood. We could be in the same city. And a chef arrives, Chef Jillian, Chef Ian, whoever, we get chefs all over the place, and they come in and they become the centerpiece of having everybody engaged together, making the meal, making the recipe, and then sitting down and breaking bread afterwards. And, for organizations, I would like to say NYU is one of our biggest clients, and they bring in aspects of their business too. So it's an opportunity to connect with their alumni around the world. Coca-Cola is one of our customers. They bring in their sales teams. So you can have small sales teams, small teams, or bigger teams. We typically like to work in groups of 25 kitchens, bring a couple people in each kitchen, because that's when the interaction is the best. For those of us who have been at big events, it's harder to do that. Keeping them small, keeping them intimate. Now, if somebody says, what if I got 50 people? That's okay. We'll do 2 ChefTorials. No big deal. We like to keep everybody engaged. So that's from a guest perspective as to what they're going to experience. Add in a mixologist, add in a sommelier, add in a musician. It really is a culinary experience that's engaging communities.
Rivers, I love it. And I imagine, if I want to build some loyalty with my customers, what better way to invite my customers into a ChefTorial experience and have all my customers come on and, maybe have, their family come in on the meetings, and everybody gets together, everybody has a great time, and they get done and they just say to themselves, wow, that was such a great experience. I'd like to thank, the CEO and founder of the company I'm doing business with for inviting me into the show. It's really, really remarkable. Now, Rivers, let me ask you this question, because, maybe you have some chefs that are in, let's say, the United Kingdom and they specialize in shepherd's pie. And maybe you've got some chefs, maybe like you mentioned, even in Russia that have a Russian dish or,
Right.
South America or Mexico or wherever it may be. So what I'm thinking and what I'm hearing is this really has a worldwide footprint for chefs. Isn't that
Yes.
the right way to look at it?
Yeah, I love that, Andy, you mentioned that. So first of all, I've been a businessman for 25 years, and mainly in the culinary world. There's a reason why 80% of restaurants fail. It's because the culinary piece isn't enough to make the business work. I'm not a chef at all, as I said. In order to make my business work, I have to connect with the talent that chefs bring to the play. In order for chefs to make their business work, they have to connect with the entrepreneur piece, all those elements of sales, marketing, cash flow, presentation. We've got a platform like it's a platform, a technological platform that our chefs members, the part of our team, can use as part of being a member of our team. So we take all of those elements of business and match them up with the culinary team. So yes, so that's the first thing. The second thing is anybody in the world can do it. This is the beauty of it. We're doing events with groups out of South Africa, the Middle East, the UK, with chefs that are in Toronto, with chefs that are in Vancouver, in Miami. You see, it doesn't matter in that case. It's not physical. You can do this from anywhere in the world. Go on a vacation, take your business with you, do a couple of ChefTorials, and make some money along the way, pay for the vacation, pay for the car, whatever. Lock arms with what we're doing with our journey as a business, and you have the potential to make easily a six-figure income a year with a lot less hours that you're used to in traditional type of chefing. But yes, sir, anywhere in the world. I've got a guy, a chef out of Australia that I'm setting up a conversation with this week. It's the greatest thing about virtual. And don't worry about snowstorms. Don't worry about it being too hot. Don't worry about traffic jams. None of that stuff. You're doing it out of the comfort of your home. It's really easy.
Rivers, it's so interesting the way you've been able to develop this. When I think about it, what you just said, that you've got the chefs, they're artists, they're culinary experts. They really get into the food and, the farm to table type of thing going on now and all of the intricacies of making beautiful, delicious food. But then maybe they don't have the chops as an entrepreneur. So,
right.
So what you mentioned about that connection is so important, because on your platform, you're going to have all of these amazing chefs that maybe are so focused in on their art and their craft that they don't really didn't really have the time, energy, or effort to figure out the entrepreneurial angle.
Right.
But you bring that right to them. You provide them that platform, and then they just jump on the platform. And like you said, they're earning income and enjoying their life in a different way, right?
Right, it is. And so that, right, the platform's there, so bang on. But then what comes is the training on top of that. And just like chefs get trained, we train them how to also be business people. You see, I don't want to do it all for them. These are intelligent people. We want to show them the way. We want to train them. We want to coach them in a way that they not only are creating a business, but they're understanding why, so they become business people. Then also we're locking arms with them and helping them to become better business people. We're bringing opportunities to them, customers to them, as part of them being a part of our team. So it really is locking arms. I need them. They need that. They need me. And between the two of us, I mean, look, I'm a big NFL guy. And I don't care how many Super Bowls Tom Brady won, he still needed the defense in order to win the game. So that's how we work together. We're a team. We're not individuals in this journey with ChefTorial. And we've had great successes with chefs so far, and changing their lifestyle. They're no longer exhausted. I mean, that whole industry of chefs is just rampant with some pretty bad things from health and wellness, and we're just able to change that whole thing for them, and it gives it, in addition to putting some good money in their pocket.
It's so great. I would imagine any chef seeing this or hearing this or learning about ChefTorial would want to reach out and have that discovery call with you to learn what it's all about, because it makes all the sense in the world. And Rivers, something that's interesting, I know a few chefs, and the ones that I know seem to be very social. They like to talk to people, and they like to interact with people. And I would imagine as they're interacting with people, they could also bring those people's companies, if they're entrepreneurs or founders and CEOs, to the ChefTorial platform and almost sell indirectly the opportunity to people that they meet every single day when they're out in the
Absolutely. I love that you mentioned that, Andy, because our business model is about, again, helping them build a business. And if they find opportunities, that's fantastic. It's their business. But if they want to build their own team of chefs to do this sort of thing, then that's great. We bring together a team strategy, a team program whereby a Chef Andy could bring in 5 of his chef and run their own virtual ChefTorial business together, all supported by our platform, and everybody can benefit that way. So you can do it singular or you can do it as a team. And that's one of the great things about it. You mentioned about presentation skills too. I think that that's so critically important. In our business, you have to still have a passion for educating. You have to have a passion for connecting with people. One of my favorite sayings is, I've got 2 university degrees. The smartest professors were PhDs. The worst professors were PhDs because they couldn't communicate. They couldn't connect to the audiences. So if you love to cook, you love to work with people, you love to educate, you love the crowd, even you love to make people happy with being out in front with people, then this opportunity is definitely one that you got to take a look at.
I love it. It almost sounds to me like I would call it business in a box for chefs. I mean, it's
culinary business in a box. I love it. I love it. We actually call our program Certified by ChefTorial, and the Certified ChefTorial is a business reference, is that we help you be successful in business. It's not a culinary certification. You folks, the chefs, they're already talented in that area. They've already got that tech. No, this is certified by ChefTorial from a business perspective. And so when people hear that, they know that they're getting the best of the best when it comes to delivering service and value to customers around the planet. And that's our goal, is to build that brand. So when people hear it, they say, those teams, they're the rock stars. They're the ones you want to have as part of your culinary experiences with your staff or your clients or whomever.
I love it, Rivers. And of course, corporate culture is so big now. Everybody talks about it. We've had experts on the show, worldwide leading experts, as you know, Rivers, talk about corporate culture. And one thing that's so apparent with the ChefTorial program is that if I put together, let's say 20 or 25 of my sales team or my C-level executives, and they go into the ChefTorial opportunity with these exciting dynamic chefs that you have on the show, it just makes them feel good, and it makes them feel part of the business that they belong to, and it makes them feel connected, and it makes them feel like this is a company I love working with or for, because they give me value-added opportunities that are so fun, so interesting, and they really care about me. You know, they know I'm at home. They gave me something here for an hour and a half that just was a pure delight, put a big smile on my face, and that helps employers actually attract employees and keep their employees going in a positive way with that good magnetism they have to the company and the founders and the CEOs that put this together. Isn't that right?
I love it. I love it. And I should be interviewing you, man. You know my business so well. Yeah, you use the word connect, and that's really what we're all about, is connecting communities together. And as I mentioned, again, I'm not a chef, but I work by business objectives. But one of the business objectives that I use is when people at the end say, that was freaking fun. Was that ever most amazing? That was more than I ever expected it to be. And they walk away and they want to do more of those experiences. We've actually are just launching a cooking club program to bring into our events so that we can continue to engage in the conversation around food for organizations who want to connect their virtual teams. I mean, look at all of these companies who have all this virtual employment around the world. They're challenged with, how do I connect them? How do I bring that sense of loyalty to the organization besides just the paycheck? And a virtual cooking club program is bringing our chef team in to not just do one event, but to connect with these people 30 days out of the month. So those types of added value programs we're growing, again, connecting community around food conversation, and people. That's what it's all about.
That's great. And the way in which you connect with your people, the way in which you connect with your chefs, the way in which you connect to your clients that come to the experiences is really remarkable. You know, Rivers, if you're watching the show, if someone's watching the show and they own an organization or they own a company and they want to have a great immersive experience for their people, obviously they're hearing this and they're going to say to themselves, I need to go check out ChefTorial. And then for the chefs, you know, this business in the box idea, and I don't say it as eloquent as you, is really a remarkable opportunity for chefs throughout the world. It's really awesome.
Around the world.
Around the world. I love it. They can be anywhere. Mexico, South America, Russia, UK.
Yeah. And and they can stick to what they love to work, and they don't have to, one, be doing a bunch of dishes. But if you enjoy Japanese cooking, then build a business around Japanese. If you enjoy baking, then build a business around baking. You don't have to do what the hotel or restaurant wants. This is your business.
Exactly. And if you're a mixologist or you love wine or a sommelier or you like to make cakes or desserts, reach out to Rivers because there's a place for you at ChefTorial.
Yes,
now, Rivers, I want to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship because obviously entrepreneurs are watching the show and they're saying to themselves, wow, the guy's not even a chef, but he figured out how to get into this business because he saw something. A light went off in his head and it's really remarkable. He saw an open sort of corridor. He went down the corridor, he developed a team, he developed this great platform for chefs, and you've got, you know, Fortune 100 companies working with you now because it's such a fabulous interactive experience. But for the younger entrepreneurs watching the show, Rivers, let's talk about what happens when they get a bump in the road. What happens when they hit a roadblock? What happens when they hit a wall? Maybe you could give some experience based on your experience about what those younger entrepreneurs should do to get through those tough times and come out the other side real solid.
Yeah, I love that question. I really do. And first of all, you know, when I'm working with beginning entrepreneurs, and I've been lucky to be the entrepreneur in residence for a lot. Actually, I just was hired by a university to do a contract with them yesterday. But the point is that when I work with beginning new entrepreneurs, I have them, first of all, get them into a mindset game. It's not about what, you know, accounting or marketing or anything. What they need to understand that this is a game. That's all business is a game. And it's your job to try to figure out, one, what are the rules of the game for success? And then second of all, who plays them best? And that takes at least 5 years to get to the point that you're trying to figure it out. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You and I, we're still trying to figure it out. So it's a long-term game that you have to remember. Media tends to really sensationalize it, overnight success. It's not the case. You've got to understand that it's a mindset game, that it's a game. The second thing is you're in a laboratory. And for those people that have ever been in laboratories, there's a few times things blow up. The Bunsen burner goes crazy. The smoke goes in the air. And so you will have those blow up things that are going to happen in your business. The third thing is, and I think this is the last thing that really defines what they can do. There was a guy that I interviewed on one of my podcasts, a really amazing entrepreneur. And I asked him that question you just asked me. How do you ultimately go day by day? And he said, Rivers, every day I expect a curveball. And, you know, our friends in the United States, Canada, a little bit of a hockey town, the States, a little bit of a baseball town. But when you think of a curveball, a couple of things could happen. It could knock you right on the head. You don't see it coming. It can knock you on the arm and just hurt you. Or you could grand slam that freaking thing right out of the ballpark. And so expect a curveball every day in your business. And when it does, it levels you up so you don't go too high and you don't go too low in those emotions. You just say, that's a curveball. Celebrate the curveballs that you hit out of the park. They're still a curveball, and celebrate the low mark or learn from the low stuff. And then just go on to the next day, man. Expect a curveball. That's how you maintain those bumps along the way. If you get too hung up in the dirt, in the weeds, you're not going to enjoy the journey.
I love it, Rivers. And of course, if you're not hitting those bumps in the road, or if you're not hitting those curveballs, you're probably not pushing hard enough as an
Right
entrepreneur.
on, brother.
Right? So you really want those curveballs. Now, Rivers,
Yes.
this has been an amazing interview. I
Thank you.
love so much the model. The platform is interesting. I'm thinking maybe in the future we'll bring one of your chefs on, because they're joining the platform.
They are.
They have an opportunity for a very nice income on the platform, and they get to do what they love to do, which is share cooking, share their
cooking.
passion, share the result of this wonderful experience that they're going to take your clients through for an hour or an hour and a half, from making the food to actually breaking the food. And I love that.
Right
That should be,
Make it break.
I should have a T-shirt that says that. It's really great. So,
Well, Andy, it's if I might just add before we end off, what I'm trying to do is impact families. Trying to impact families of chefs around the world, and if I can give them a resource to help them unify their families and their friends together, so they're having an enjoyable lifestyle along the way that impacts their kids, impacts their neighborhoods, impacts their communities in a positive way, that people are healthy, they're smiling, and that lasts for kids, the grandparents. I'm all about creating a legacy for my children and my grandchildren. Same thing I want to do with these chefs that I'm working with. So that's my ultimate goal, create legacy businesses.
That's beautiful. You're moving forward with gratitude. You're paying it forward with all the success you've had in your life to others and their lives. And of course, the chefs that come into the platform, their success then gets translated to their families, and ultimately, as we move down the road, to their families' families. So it's a legacy business. It's really beautiful. I love it, Rivers. Well, listen, I know we've only cut out a certain amount of time. I know that you're so busy with the platform. You're helping so many chefs sort of gain this autonomy with regard to their lives, but also helping so many companies that you bring to the platform as well. I wanted to thank you so much for coming on the show. I think we need to also book another time, and I'm going to call it, a half hour with Rivers, because there's so much to learn from you about entrepreneurialism that I think we'll get into on the next show. But Rivers, congratulations on what you're doing at ChefTorial. I love the platform. I love it so much. It just makes all the sense in the world. You found an open corridor. You ran down it, and here you are. Everybody's talking about it. Great job, Rivers. I wanted to congratulate you, but more importantly, thank you for sharing your journey and your story on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight.
Love what you're doing, man. Love it. I really love DotCom Magazine. It's just brilliant. Anybody at that level that's got to hang out with DotCom Magazine. Look, yes, he's being paid to say it. No, I'm not. Hang out with the rock stars, and you're one of them, dude.